Voice chat knows. What stock is that again? Welcome to Read the Room with Unc. What is up, everybody? This is Unc. This week's Read the Room, going over the hot list and mentions for the RTL Academy page. Definitely start out with saying a little bit of a rough week last week, just overall in the market. But we always use that time to find the levels that are holding, things that are going against trend. And we actually had a couple successful ones last week, just off pure momentum. Shout out to CYN and Redbox for leading the way there. A little bit of a Chinese Friday with DIDI and BILI, those stocks that we've been on for a little bit. But let's get into the hot list this week. As always, keep it moving forward. First here, AA, just another one. It's a oversold material, another one we've been on for a long time. Um, Basically checking back to a decent range. Little higher than the last established zone before the breakout on the chart, but definitely forming a higher low here. Like I said, most materials are becoming oversold. They're not getting cheaper in the actual marketplace, but the share price is. Same goes with AMRS, excuse me. Um, Especially when we get down here. I have 460, I believe, is the line we have on the chart. It's kind of just danced around this lower. This is more of a chemical play, but it still fits the same thing as a play that's kind of beat down, especially when you back out of it. Um, Kind of just looking for a retrace once the the catalyst or news comes with it. The option levels usually are a lot higher than the actual price of the stock. So we stay interested in this, especially when we get this kind of frying pan bottom here. So um, can't really play the percentages on a day trade so far, but this should have range when we get good news. Old Faithful for me, ASRT, all the way back down to two. I really can't believe that. Really think 220 is going to establish. Then we should make our way to 240, 260. Probably should move my 240 line up to 260 to be honest with you. Still like the range on this, especially now that we got a dollar back, which is 50% from 2 to 3. This is definitely a strike when the iron's hot. So let it, the cool off happen, and we'll get back into it as soon as it turns. It confirms the turns, which it kind of looks like it's doing over the last 4 or 5 candles. ASTR. Don't get it confused with the last one. Space Place in general, they're all looking similar in charts. Again, awaiting catalyst. I like this one. The range that it does have back to even 350. 350 is a good spot. I really like the last channel of 440 to 350. But these are lagging a little bit. Think we're early. Um, but I also think the flow suggests that these should pick up, especially over the summer. There is 4, I think, on the list. We will get into those. Bank of America, a big name. Not the greatest from the share side. Decent from the option side. The level 35 is coming up. I like it from the technical side, especially with 35 puts, and then range back to 40 in the flow. 5-6 are the call, so it's fairly soon. 35s and 40 setup. Basically, the channel I have. I have a little higher channel on the top end. On the technical side than what the flow suggests, but there's still range. So if you can find trades in that or like the options, this is probably a safer bet. BlackRock Coffee, like the level that's confirming at 15 down here. It's actually the level we had on the chart. 1503, I believe, was the level on the chart. Confirming that now, getting to, 1583. I shot over a little bit. 15 is looking like level with sold puts and whatnot. I'd let this confirm. We don't know if we're going to get another 2 or 3 weeks like this. Also talked about share dilution, how many more shares are on the market now. Still like to play overall and coffee overall, which is why Burroughs, Dutch Brothers is on the list as well. This and Starbucks, kind of all three covered them pretty in depth in chat. Higher low form in here. Don't really have an area assigned yet, but the 45 sold puts are looking promising. Might slap a line on there. Right now, just kind of going off volume profile. plenty of range on this. As you can see, even our last tie up here at 65, 66 is a pretty decent jump from here. You know, it'd be a $19 jump. CDE mining stocks, kept a couple of the minings on there. Again, they're just oversold. Talked about the trend line breaking, how a trend line and a support and resistance line, how sometimes one trumps the other. In this case, this one failed both miserably. So we're looking for the reversal, retest the range here. Still like the sector, obviously it's a material mining. Carvana, same thing, it's on the trend line list. This one's keeping up with the trend. Just looking for something to establish as far as the technical side goes. 60s and up in the flow is what we're seeing, which is basically just saying it's going to hold this zone. This does have range when it's turned, so we talked about being patient here, whether, you know, taking a gamble, waiting for confirmation, or playing the uptrend, especially since this has range. DIDI, how does Unc know when they're gonna go? Oh, how does he know? Shout out to Tupac. I still like the setup. I'm still waiting on the vote. That 170 was just so strong, as you can see it. I'd let some levels confirm, wait for pullback, but this has a lot of range. Flow suggests 250. I believe in there is still pretty active, which is volume profile. Take your percent out of this one, people. Sinclair Oil. This is a great call for Pessler. I believe it was, I forgot when he called this. It was a week or two ago, but he got a great breakout. We kind of retest the zone off at 35 RTO. Sold puts are looking good. I believe they were at, let me get it accurate. I believe they're at 35, and then the calls to 45 and the leaps, he said, they're huge. They cannot be ignored. The leaps are huge. They cannot be ignored. This is also when we talked about the price of oil. We'd like it at 115, 120 a barrel for these to really get moving. But this is just a rinse and repeat. Kind of like why we took it off the. This is a good example of us nailing, well, Professor nailing, taking something off the hot list for 1 week and then putting it back on. But this probably should stay on, and we should master the levels, which is looking like 35 to 42, excuse me. Loyalty inside my DNA. We're back again, just like the $3 level, like the stock. Kathy Wood can't kill this. The flow has the leaps. The TA is early here. I'm a firm believer in this one. You can play this off to a $3 level for your percent, or you can just accumulate and wait for the bigger move. Either way you want to play this one. Getting pretty safe down here. Last low is like 260. DNN. I didn't give Professor crap about the green line. I really should have. Well, here we are a little bit below the 135. The 135 to 165 channel has been money for me. Still waiting for the breakout to 2. If we get back in this channel, no problem. I kind of talked about the number. I want to see confirm. I believe it was 140, 145. Right in that range to make sure we get back in this channel. But I can take my percentage out of this one, so I really like it. Just a little below volume profile here. Yeah, another rinse and repeat play. Donut. Playing the 439 line we have here, kind of more as resistance right now. Flow still suggests the bigger move over the summer. So we're just kind of waiting on this one. When it's unaffected by kind of like the overall market, kind of safer to stay in those plays. They have the mind of their own, and this one pretty much was not affected over the last few weeks. Just kind of been staying in the same channel, 13 to 15. Very similar here. I guess just getting you guys familiar with plays that we think are going to really go when we get a full open up. This one, I think the flow suggested more of a 20 floor. I'm going to let it reconfirm down here on the lower level. We're dead center in the channel. If this gets any news, though, we could make the 27, 29 run back up to here rather quickly. So just be mindful of that, especially since we are getting tighter bars here. But these are scalpable for day trades, especially on the option side. Share side, a little tighter, but when this thing gets moving, I think we'll be way ahead of the game. Now this place is called Read the Room for a reason. Um, it's because I want you guys to understand the way people talk about things, whether it's on Twitter or it's your favorite guru. The way they pick it up, and the professor is pretty dry, and it's hard to pick things up when he's putting them down. But this one, I get the feeling, is the one you want to pay attention to. Pac also was on it. I believe in the room said he was scoping it, and I looked at it again from the last move, and I'm with it. His things already went 10 to 16, which that's a pretty good percentage. And we're back down here on this level, so kind of following him. This is one of the first ones he wanted to talk about as number two actually of the thing. Just a huge spike in volume on the $15 calls. Do the math. And those are 617 calls. So it's not next month, but still, I mean, do the math on that. That's Fubu talked about this one basically because we have earnings this week. When is enough enough? Talked about when to full port your account. No, just playing. And just talked about basic overall strategies, how to play this one, because it's kind of getting out of hand, but it's definitely on the radar. Hopefully earnings is what breaks the trend here. Talked about GGPI Polestar. I gave all the you're gonna have to go watch the longer video for that, but I gave all my what I know, where I'm at, what I think about this play, what's a Polestar switchover, why it's being held up and stuff like that. I still have 10 threes. I've had them for quite some time. Getting close to that level, and we'll reassess what to do long term. Most likely probably add some more to the position. When this gets going, though, it's gonna take off for 30% the first day. That's just what's gonna happen, and then if it's official, sky's the limit. To be honest, Groupon didn't really mess with the market last week. It's kind of trotting along, just kind of early on it from the call standpoint. 25. 30, still what we're looking at. I got 23.2 on the chart. Kind of in a little baby uptrend, but I think when this does have a day, it's gonna jump up pretty quick. MNX, like this one a lot. We're kind of out of the channel. This was the number one play the professor talked about today. Not his number one play, but just the first one he talked about, which I kind of take that as his number one play. No puts whatsoever. No puts was the reason it caught his attention. 10C May 13th, which is getting back into the zone, which I love that theory. And then 11-12 May June, which is basically testing the channel and zone we already have. So for now, if you can get 8s for me, I think you're pretty safe. On the share side, options, plan accordingly. HYMC 131, nailed that last week in the room. Shout out to my notes, and I think it's just going to offer it again. Keep offering range off that level. It's pretty strong level. Kind of a wait and see momentum play. Also has the metal materials AMC. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on it that can bring the volume back, because right now that's the issue. But if volume comes back, you get these pretty big spikes. So definitely keep an eye on it, set an alert, or hold a small position. IMAX, the whole setup's still there. This is one that the market did kind of affect last week. Had 4 not so great days, and then Friday kind of fought back the whole thing. Kind of finished even on the week. Setup's still there. Note should be the same. On the professor's angle, the note should still be the same. We're just a week later here. LILM staying on the list. Another one kind of just went with the market. Right below the area we have the setup still suggests the 7s are coming over the summer, so we like it. There's the link to Boeing. Yeah, everything's good, still good in the overall picture of this. It just didn't happen last week. Kind of have a higher low forming as well. Nat, this is a gem. This is why you guys are here. Yeah, this has been great. We caught the first move on this, and now we have a upper channel that has just been great in and out of it. Um, Love the 235 level here, especially if you can just take your percent. 30 cents for me is a pretty big trade, especially when I'm only putting in, $2.30 for that. This is one I like better this week than I did last week, but keeping it on there. The 1446, well respected now for the third time. And everything on the flow side still suggests the 1617. Just looking for the continuation. Some of these plays don't move in one day. Um, this qualifies for that. So if you like the slower movers, especially on the share side, this one's for you. And if you like the options to kind of buy longer dates out, also probably for you. Penn and DraftKings both very similar. Both kind of holding. I should bring DraftKings up. Both kind of holding a level below a level above a level we have. DraftKings has earnings. Just think these are bottomed out. Talked about the market share and how they don't really have full access to it yet. But these levels are confirming more and more every week. So we're keeping them on the radar. Matter of time here. If we had swing play, this would probably be a swing play. Play Hall of Famer, MVP, and still makes the hot list. Flow suggests there's 50 on 520. 46 is a pretty strong level for us. This trend line worked well. Professor called this probably the best play we've ever called. Um, Still has some more to offer, I believe. I like these guys especially too for the reopening angle we always talk about. Part of that domino effect. Party City. In my notes last week, now on the hot list. It's making it back to the hot list. 350 is playable, a little bit outside of my zone. Let me grab what the professor had here. Um, the put call ratio was 0.009, and there was $5 calls going on. So there was like zero on the put side, 0.009, two more than 007. And that was the joke in the chat if you missed it. I wanted to make sure you guys had that. And then $5 calls, which the 461. So we're a little bit outside the normal ad zone, and the normal goal or target lines up. Really like it. I was on this last week. Um, I don't know why I can play red candles pretty good. um, but I do like this setup. Also, another shout out to reopening. People are going to have birthday parties. Got to have streamers. Rite Aid, another one of the trend line talks. Kind of talked about just adding down here for the long term. Um, they had the acquisition news. Kind of didn't go anywhere from there. Didn't get another bid, so it kind of fizzled a little bit. Went with the market. Um, $10 calls on 520 are still pretty hot in the flow read. So I think there's some stuff brewing in the back door, but um, this one kind of showed you again broken trend line. Didn't really expect it. Formed a new bottom right away. We just haven't put a line down here yet. I like to wait for a little bit more confirmation. But I also think you're fine adding Rite Aid down here at these prices. They're not going anywhere. And with the $800 million offer, this price is what that suggested. So I really think we're in a good spot here. Or Roblox, same thing. Um, just felt like we might be kind of early on it, and it gave us a little more dip to 30 from the 40 that we had planned. Would like to see it established a little bit better, but Flow still suggests that this thing should go well above the volume profile here. Space Play. Talked about some of these next two definitely. Kind of just a great line in the sand on a level that we're currently on. So safer place for your money, not only for a percent, but to hang out until a catalyst comes in. RDW fits that. So does Rocket Lab. Almost similar. We have 775. If you eat dips on these, you're usually okay. These are definitely just the buy red plays or swing for a catalyst. Either way you'd like to approach those. And next we have Root, the insurance play. Just kind of came off 160, 4 really good days. 250 still in the flow suggestion. I like the way this is trending. The candle is a little tight, so you got to be decent with the entries and exits. But if you can get this definitely down into 175, I think you're good. Lots of restaurants on the list this week. Red Robin talked about this level confirming. Been playable before, and we are back. We have sold puts here at the level we're currently on, and then some June 17 and $20 calls. This is a decent stretch for June to get to that percent. So especially like the 17.5 area from here. Play that accordingly. SDC pretty much talked about it. Anything under 2, which we kind of just dipped here. Anything under 2 is probably not going to end up being a bad ad. Didn't really have the flow side yet, besides the $2 level being established. So still need a catalyst, but when this thing gets going, it usually makes its way back to this 260 level pretty soon. So if you can get 175, 180 back to that 260 range, that's a pretty good trade for the way I trade. Shake Shack looks a lot like the Red Robin, except for it's not 13, it's 60. Similar setup, similar everything. Shake has a $55 floor, which is a little lower than the technical side. Talked about that a little bit, that there might be another level down, but the put call ratio on this was also low, under 1, and then the leaps to 110, which this chart has every bit of it when there is a turnaround and or good news. Also has ER coming up, so that was our forward catalyst. STNG, this thing should have never came off the hot list. One of the few times we probably took something off we shouldn't have. Vicious uptrend here. Does not look like it's going to stop. It leaps out to 40. Buy pullbacks if possible. For me, the 2022 range is probably the best you're going to get. This and Nat, gems. Tankers are gems right now. Another one of the professor's go-tos here. We got $8 calls and then leaps to 12, 10, 12 on this one. Kind of reaffirming the $7 level here, which I like. Kind of gives you an opportunity for entry if the uptrend is going to continue. Pretty good setup in a sector, an energy sector that's probably not going to have bad numbers anytime soon. Uranium, UEC right out 425. We both still like the setup, everything it offers. The flow still suggests that we will be making these upper moves and retesting these levels. UUU is a little bit under the trend line we have, 750 instead of 8, but both setups are still there with the flow reads saying these are now oversold plays instead of overextended. And VORB, the other Virgin company in space, recent IPO. This is the reason I'm pretty sure the professor's keeping space around. We have 7 and 8s in June, which is basically just testing this last top on the chart. Also have ER coming up, and any kind of launch usually gives these guys good catalyst. Doesn't even really have to be for their company. Nice setup, fits a lot of the criteria that we trade around, especially the recent IPO and whatnot. WWR, just getting another one getting to the oversold, way below our 161 line at this point. I don't think we had strong flow reads on it, but just an oversold chart that shouldn't let get away from us at this point in time. And Zillow ER this week. 65 July is the call, which still lines up on the top end. We're definitely below that the 52 that was 52, whatever you want to call it, that was support that turned to resistance. So this is the new low down here around 40, 38.5 maybe. ER should be a good indication on which way this is going to go. But with the flow read, the 65 July, believe the whales are gambling that we're going to get back into this zone here. All right, real quick. At this time, I want to go over the kind of the focus notes that I'm going to be doing every week. Try to drop these for you guys before Monday morning market opening. Just what I'm looking at, kind of a plan, levels and watches. Whether they're with our lottos, rinse and repeat, which ones are more safer and whatnot. Um, just for you guys to have a little bit more of a roadmap. Um, so let's cover a couple of those real quick. All right, first up is Nat. Scalpable off the 250 line. Let's pull it up real quick. Bam. Nat 250 back to the 3. Let's play the trend. See here we actually dipped. We dipped down a little bit lower, 245 even on Monday, but gave the perfect entry on Monday. Barely got to 3 and then came back down higher trend line. You could have scalped off the higher trend line there for 20 cents. This right here is a 10% move. This right here is substantially more than a 10% move. Just got to play it off this 250 level, like we suggested in notes. That's kind of a good example of waiting to strike. The same with HYMC. Again, we'll just pull the week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bam. Play this 131 level. Again, didn't get it Monday. Gave it to us for about 4 hours on Tuesday. If you grab that, perfect scalp off that level. You still should be green a little bit, even if you held for 3 days hoping, but we don't like to do that. And the same here with BBIG, $2, 220, the areas that social likes. Again, these are just take the notes, put them on the chart. I got 229 here, but if you come down to this 220 level, it was offered Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and 230, 240. So you got 5 to 10% out of it every day. And then it made a big move on Friday. And they're not always winners or rocket ships, so let's go over that just so you kind of understand the basic, what I'm saying. XSPA right here, 99-cent line approaching, 93 is last low before the run, so rinse and repeat play. Chart did that 100%. Monday we kind of bounced around on the dollar level. This 99-cent is the level I have, load zone, and then bam, we came down to 93. So now we're testing the 93 level. We're just testing the last low. You still need confirmation, still need volume, you still need a reason for the trade to go through. But if you look on this thing on a more historical level, I like where we are. I like where we are a lot, especially with the range, 100% range back to these guys. But just kind of waiting here. Again, waiting for confirmation, and I'll catch it in the uptrend. But yeah, I'll just catch it in the uptrend. It's definitely just a rinse and repeat. Might be a month, might be a week, but I like the range it provides. And then Hut's another one that we could say failed. We put sub $4 BTC for 42K. That's a good example to be mindful of the catalyst. Bitcoin at 42K is the catalyst. We got to $4 here on Friday. Kind of started the week around $4. So I mean, it's been playable back to there, but you're kind of playing with fire without the catalyst. So you need to understand that part of each individual play, understand what the catalyst is. And if you don't know what the catalyst is, please ask, and I will definitely elaborate on why I am playing the stock or keeping my eye on the stock. All right, no extras this week because I'm making these public, so I'll just save everything extra for the room. Mindful my notes will be out later. Let's have a good week. Remember what we said about market trends, finding the uptrends, playing momentum, and taking your percent. Y'all have a good week. Make sure you have a plan tonight. Do I got to say it? I'm not a financial advisor. But yeah, let's be smart. Let's not give any back. Let's respect the lines, and most importantly, read the room.